So now we are going to take a closer look at the input function. Okay, so what is user input? So user input allows a program to receive data from the user during execution. So Python uses the input function to take input. So this is important to note. So the input always returns a string. Okay, so even if the user enter numbers, it will always return a string. So now we are going to convert the input to numbers, because remember, it always return a string in case you want to perform math operation. Okay, so that is where typecasting come into play. So we must convert the input to int or float. Okay, all right. So also we are going to take a closer look at taking multiple inputs. Okay, we can take multiple inputs in one line using the split method. Okay, all right. So let's talk more action. Let's go to the other side and just codify what we've just learned. Now we are going to codify the user input that we have just learned. Okay, so now let's go ahead and I'm going to create a variable called name is equal to, and now I am going to type input. Okay, bracket open, bracket close, and now I'm gonna say enter your name. Okay, I'm gonna type that out, enter your name, and now see the beauty of this thing. So now I'm gonna come down here, I'm gonna print bracket open, bracket close, and now I'm gonna put an F string. I'm gonna put an F string here, okay, and type hello, and I'm gonna put some curly braces, okay, so that it's gonna access the variable, right? So I'm gonna input my name. So now if I load this, you can see enter your name. So it's going to ask me to enter my information. So I'm gonna type my name, Ibrahima, Ebrima, and I'm gonna press enter, and you can see hello Ibrahima. Okay, so the user input, as you can see, it's stored in the name variable. Okay, it's stored in the name variable, and at the end of the day it is displayed using the F string. Okay, so now let's come down here and learn more about this thing. So we said the input function always return a text, that is a string, even if the user enters numbers. Okay, so let me come here and say age is equal to, now I'm going to enter, okay, my age. But first we are going to use the input function to ask the user, okay, to enter their age. So I'm going to type input, bracket open, bracket close, and I'm gonna say enter your age. So now I'm gonna come down here and I'm gonna print bracket open, bracket close, and now I'm gonna say your age is 8 because I wanna access the age variable here. And now another thing that I wanna check is I wanna check the type. Okay, remember we said the input function always return a text, that is a string, even if the user enter number. So let's go ahead and verify that. Okay, and I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna put it inside here, should be here. This is wrong, let me remove that. So now it still should be inside the strings. Let me remove that, let me close the bracket here, and now I'm gonna continue typing, and I'm gonna say, and the data type is, okay, that is type, okay, age. All right, so now I also input this in curly braces. Now let's go ahead and see. So now this is going to ask me to enter my age. Okay, I'm gonna input 30 and see what's gonna happen. I press enter, and you can see your age is 30 and the data type is class string, right? So this proves that the input function always return a text, aka string, even if the user enters numbers. Let's go ahead and continue. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to take two numbers and maybe sum them. Okay, so I'm going to say num1 is equal to, let's say, input, okay, bracket open, bracket close, and I'm going to ask the user to enter their first number, also to enter their second number. Okay, so this is important. However, I'm going to remove this. Okay, so two numbers, this is what we want to do. So now what I want us to do is to go ahead and try to sum these two numbers. So I'm going to say print bracket open bracket close. So now I'm going to put this inside of an F string. Okay, F string. And now I'm going to say sum of, let's say, curly braces num1. Okay, and let's say curly braces again num2, for instance, num2, and I'm gonna say is equal to, again, curly braces num1 plus num2. Okay, all right, so now I'm going to load this out and I'm gonna enter my first number. Let's say 20 is my first number. Press enter. Okay, enter another number. Let's say 10. So press enter. Boom, we got something that is totally unexpected. Okay, so sum of 20 and 10, what are we expecting? We are expecting 30, but we got here 20, 10. Why do we have that? This is because, remember what we said, the input function always return a text or a string, even if the user enter numbers. Okay, so now we have to convert this thing. Okay, we have to convert it to float or integers. So now I'm just gonna come here and convert this to float. Let's say float, bracket open here, and I can come down here, bracket close. So now I'm gonna come here also and convert this one to float. Okay, bracket open. If you want, you can convert it to integers. That's up to you. And now I'm gonna close the bracket. So now again, enter. Okay, that's 20. Okay, enter. Now 10, enter. And now we've got the answers, right? So we got 20.0 and 10.0. It is started, right? Because we've converted it to what? To floating point. So if I want, I can convert this also to int. So it's up to you because we want to convert this to numbers. So now we've gotten the desired output that we wanted. So now enter first number 20, press enter, enter second number 10, press enter, and you can see the sum of 20 plus 10 is equal to 30. Remember, integers are whole numbers and floats are decimal numbers. Okay, all right. So if you want, you can take these two numbers, you subtract them, you divide them, and you do whatever you want to do. So this is very important to note. You can see how beautiful the input function is. All right, now what we are going to do is we are going to try to take multiple inputs at once. So now let me come down here and let me say, for instance, f underscore name, and I'm going to put a comma here. Okay, and I'm going to say l underscore name. Okay, so now let me just paste this thing out once and for all. So now we have input and I said enter your name. Okay, and then dot split. The reason why we put the dot split is by default the split separate words by spaces. Okay, and now I use the f string to access my name and my last name. Okay, so now let's go ahead. So enter your name. I'm gonna type Ibrahima and I hit the space button, and now I'm gonna type my last name and I press enter. And you can see your first name is Ibrahima and your last name is Jallo. So now let me load this again. Now I'm just gonna enter Ibrahima, okay, and then press enter. We are gonna have an error. Okay, why? Is because values, okay, we have a value error. It says not enough values to unpack. It expected 2 values, however I gave it 1, so I only gave Ibrahima. Okay, so this is important to note. So now let me load again. I'm gonna type Ibrahima, so I must hit the space button, okay, and then type in my last name or whatever I want to put there. Now I press enter and you can see, so now you can see the importance of the input function. It makes program interactive. It also allows users to provide their own data and works well with variables and logic. So go ahead, make some changes, practice your coding skills, and improve your coding muscles, and see you on the other side.